Hey, what is going on, you crazy mofos? How are all you beautiful people doing today? So on today's podcast episode, we actually have a special guest. Sorry, I got my notes. Because I'm a forgetful person. I got ADHD. My mind goes everywhere.
Oh, yes, it does.
So I have to have my notes. So on today's podcast episode, we have a special guest who has successfully broken out of the corporate world and has started a successful online business as a podcast and video production specialist, where he helps his clients in whatever content needs they have, etc., stuff like that. He has a YouTube channel where he goes into in-depth tutorials on content creation and all that. He has worked on many podcasts such as Love and Justice, if I'm correct, if I remember that right, and I wrote down my notes. Okay, yeah, so he's worked on a few podcasts, and we also can't forget he has from what I understand, it's like a comedy / adventure challenge channel with his best friend Dallin.
That's right.
And they go.
I'm using the word YouTuber, but I mean, yeah.
Content creator.
Content creators, YouTubers.
It's so much more professional.
Yeah. And they're also known as the Side Quest guys. So if you guys want to go ahead and check out their channel, we will be linking it down in the description below for you guys to go ahead and check them out.
For sure.
They have a bunch of content. Funny guys. Definitely give them a look and
a follow.
Yeah, a follow. Check them out.
They might think I'm super annoying by the end of this. There's like no incentive.
I mean, our audience should be used to us because we're pretty annoying ourselves.
Yeah, we are.
So we're wild.
It's a perfect fit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I remember you were just telling me right before this, you have ADHD too, so your mind is like everywhere. So and I know what that feels like. He's seen it. I'm like,
it's funny.
Yeah, my mind is like one story goes to another and then branches out. Yeah. So
it's one of those ones where it wasn't like when I was a kid or anything. It was like really recently. So I just was like, it's one of those like, oh, I'm reading through like diagnosis and stuff. And it's like, yeah, this makes a little more sense.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I am too. I'm like, oh, so that's why I'm like this.
Like, that makes sense.
That makes sense. So we are introducing you guys today to Cody Crabb, right? I hope I didn't butcher that. I hope I didn't. I hope I did get
right.
that right.
You said it right.
I hope I said it right.
Wrong way to say it. That was one nice thing over there. That was a lot of wrong ways, just not pronouncing it.
Right? Cool. So Cody Crabb, thank you, man, for joining us on the podcast today.
Appreciate it. With the Primo's podcast here.
PrimoTalks podcast. We're trying to get a little fancy with.
Did I mention you guys speak Spanish?
Oh no, you did not actually.
That's what's up.
I did a church mission in Mexico.
Ooh.
Oh.
In Sinaloa and like the Baja Sur, so like all the.
Oh, coastline.
Yeah.
But I didn't actually get to do anything with it.
Yeah.
So I'm like in like a shirt and tie, like next to the beach, just looking at the ocean.
Hey, that sounds like a perfect.
That sounds like a perfect day, man. That sounds like a perfect day.
Yeah, that's what.
But. Yeah, because I remember seeing one of your videos actually. Because I was like, before I had you on here, I was like, okay, I'm gonna check out all their videos. I low-key kind of like binge watched some of your videos while I was working too, and I think I did come across the one where you guys are trying, was it Mexican snacks?
Oh yeah. Because the other dude, he doesn't know about like Mexico, and so I was like,
Yeah.
The whole thing was just basically me telling him about like how much I love stuff from Mexico.
Hey man, there's a lot of things out there, man. That like I feel like a lot of people.
If you like Mexican food and stuff like I do, I live in Salt Lake City. You guys are local, right?
Yeah, we're in Ogden.
Yeah, we're in Ogden, so we're like
pretty close.
Yeah, 30 minutes away.
Utah is actually a pretty good place for that stuff. Like there's a lot of like Latino markets and stuff like that.
Oh, there is. There's been a rise in them too. Like especially taco places. Taco places have been blowing up.
Yep.
Freaking Salt Lake, West Valley, Provo, Sandy, all them places. It blew my mind. Like how much.
I'm in West Jordan, and my son just started preschool like last year, and like there's like one other white kid in his class. Every single other person's Latino.
That's crazy.
He's got to be growing up learning Spanish too, then I guess, huh?
I know. I actually was like, hey, that's good. Actually, I like that.
Yeah, watch. Us Mexicans, man, we give nicknames, so they're probably gonna call him Güero. They're like, hey, Güero, come here, bro.
Well, I mean, imagine this dude living in Mexico. Like, that was my nickname.
Yeah, there you
Nice,
go.
nice.
And it's funny though, cause like it's term. If they give you a nickname, you know they're cool with you, bro.
Your family by
Your
then.
family, brother. You're like, hey, Güero, come here.
You can't be self-conscious though, because they'll also like call you Gordo or whatever. Like,
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh yeah,
the most insecure thing about you.
bro.
Oh,
Our family called him and his sister for the longest time gorditos. They're like, hey, gorditos, come here, gorditos.
Oh yeah, dude.
It's like my wife one time was like they heard someone like say Gordo. Like they said she kind of like overheard someone saying that. She's like, that's so mean. I'm like, no, you don't understand.
Like, you don't.
You're like, you don't get it. It's you're part of the family at that point.
Exactly, yeah. So yeah, if someone called me Widow, I'd be like, I have honor. Like, you can call me.
You're like, heck yeah, hell
Hey,
yeah.
that means you're open-minded though too, because a
Yeah.
lot of people are not open-minded about stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, because some people do get a little iffy when they're like, I don't think I like that.
Yeah,
But-
those kind of people I don't really get along with them anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm too I joke a lot. Those people like, yeah. If you get, not that I'm like offensive, but like I joke around a lot. Like,
Yeah.
and stuff. So like if you get really easily offended, a lot of times like, people just kind of like protect me or something.
And give you,
Yeah.
they'll give you that little death stare.
Yeah. Like, cause that's how me and him are in this podcast. Like we probably come off as like mean or whatever, but like that's just our humor. It's like we joke around that way.
It's worse when you like know each other too, because you just like end up roasting each other a lot.
Exactly.
Oh, dude.
It's like, you know,
Yeah, dude. Like
everybody just probably, you know.
exactly. Yeah, cause for the longest time, man, my family used to call me Feo. So, and I was like, damn, like that, huh?
Nah, I think my favorite one.
That's the kind of stuff I mean. Like imagine you're just like the wife and someone's like, hey, Leo, and you're gonna be like, what?
What? Yeah, I'm like after a while, I'm like, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's me.
I think it's a good thing though.
Yeah.
I think it's a good, like, you know what I mean? To just kind of learn that it's just like, you don't have to worry about, I don't know, I'm probably overthinking it.
Hey, no,
I think it's, teaching your kids, like, it's not like a big deal.
it really isn't.
Yeah, it's not. It's kind of getting that thick skin, It's good. It's good.
Just the world is not gonna baby you the whole way
Nope.
at all.
Yeah.
Like, I think we should like take steps to like make sure that we're being inclusive. People aren't being offended as much as we can.
Oh, yeah.
There comes a point where like there's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's always going to be someone that thinks. Like I just read yesterday that people are all up in arms because they're changing some of the words in the original book of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Like, that kid that falls in the chocolate? Like,
Yeah.
I guess they took the word fat out of the book because, like, they thought it might be offensive.
What?
Like, I agree if it's, like, saying something mean. Like, you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a description. Like, character.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like those are descriptive words. Like.
Right.
It's in the dictionary.
Like, overly... I do think it's like a company being overly cautious.
Yeah.
It's this weird back and forth of like, company doesn't want people to be offended and be mad at them, so they are overly protective and stuff.
Exactly.
Even more mad.
Yeah.
It's this cancel culture that everybody's scared of.
Yeah. Cancel culture has become a big thing right now, where it's just like everybody's like walking on eggshells and everything. So.
For
Yeah, but I think some of that is good. I think
Oh,
some
yeah.
of that is,
Yeah. Some of it is good. It's good to be inclusive, but.
especially on the internet, because people were not doing that.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I think a little bit's good, and maybe we're gonna swing back the other way and find a good medium.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some in between would be good, yeah. All right, so I do have a few questions for you, since this is kind of like a introduction to get to know you a little bit better. So my first question to you is, so you have an online business, right?
I do, yeah.
So what are some challenges that came with starting your online business?
Well, I kind of got to skip some of the challenges just because I started this so early. Like I did this as a side hustle, like way before I thought I would ever do this full time. So like I'm my background is in music production, so I'm like, I need to earn money and get married, right?
Yeah.
super broke, first get married. I'm like, I gotta get some side hustle money. So I start to like get some gigs doing anything I can in audio, right? For like some YouTube channel with like 100 subscribers and like just any little thing I can get, right?
Yeah.
And so then along with that, I'm like, oh, I know how to do audio stuff. Like I'll edit podcasts because and that was the most money I got from like the least amount of time, basically.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, hey, you know what? This actually could work. Like I could do this. So I went to I was doing like those online gigs or whatever, just kind of finding whatever I could, and just slowly over time, I kind of just pieced together like a system. Like instead of a spreadsheet to track my episodes that I was editing, I started to use a service like ClickUp, and instead of manually inserting everything, I have my clients put stuff in it. Just over time, just anytime there was something that started to get overwhelming, I could kind of replace it one thing at a time over like several years. But one of the biggest adjustments I think is kind of managing my time. As anyone that's self-employed will tell you, like what you think is, I can work anytime I want.
Yeah.
Which is true, but what that really means is you never really stop working 100%. Like there's always something pending, So I'm guilty of that. Like I'm early on in the whole doing it full time thing, and I'm definitely like I work too many hours. I just it's a good. So I think that's one thing. I would say if I had to answer that question, I'd probably say like making sure that I'm not working
too much.
Like overtime. Just because got a wife and kid, don't want to work too much.
Yeah, that's true. You don't want to miss out on those special moments too.
For real.
Well, I will say too, the nice thing about podcasts is that it's really like there's no certain times that I need to do something. So like someone will send me audio, and I'll just edit it kind of whenever. As long as it's out by the deadline, they don't care when it happens. So I'll do a lot of like work at night or a lot of early in the morning, or just like when it's more convenient for. So that's been really cool. But yeah, man, what you don't think about is like all the little stuff that goes along with running your own thing. Like I have to manage my own money, and I'm terrible at numbers. Like like numbers and stuff. So I'm trying really hard to like just use software and like figure stuff out. I do business taxes. Like that's just I hate that stuff.
Oh yeah.
But that's part of it. You're every part of a company. Every department is you.
Your HR, you name it.
You got a problem, you got to deal with yourself and be like, okay.
Yeah, there's no one to call. You're just kind of on it yourself. Yeah.
Dang.
It's crazy, but hey.
That is pretty crazy.
Part of the experience.
Yeah. Dang.
Yeah, and I think it's a good thing because I've gotten a lot of skills that I probably wouldn't have gotten any other way. Like I'm really good with like spreadsheets now, and in a way I wasn't super good with them before.
Yeah.
But like little stuff like that, like I'm kind of picking up stuff here and there, and but it's really cool when someone can just say something like, "Hey, do you know how to do this random thing?" And I can be like, "I do know how to do that." I taught myself trying to figure this out. So I had a client that was like, I had to build my own website because I didn't have money to hire anybody. And I was like, I'll use one of these website generator things.
Yeah.
And just drag and drop, make it work, and then he's like, "Hey, can you do my website?" And so I can be like, I happen to know exactly how to do that.
You're like, I have my little tricks. I know.
That's what's up, though.
If you're working like for a call center, like you're building one skill set, one really specific skill set.
Yeah.
Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I mean, that's what I did. But doing what I'm doing, you really kind of get to be like an all-around guy.
Wow, that's awesome, man. That's super cool.
Really cool.
So following that, what do you think was that moment that was just like kind of clicked in your head where you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna go for it?
Well, I always kind of wanted to. Like, I never really did well. It's probably partially the ADHD I was talking about, but I never really did well like office jobs, and I was always like struggling to like pay attention and stay on task and like all this stuff. I just couldn't. It was like so hard for me. And so over years and years and years, I was like, you know what? I've always I dreamed about doing my own thing. I didn't know what. I didn't know if I wanted to be self-employed or like be a musician or be like a YouTuber or like I was like, I just want to do something where I'm in control of my schedule and life. What I do really. And And so I was when I think it was when I got married, I viewed work very differently because it was like I'm supporting someone else now. Like this isn't just me anymore. And then it really hit me when I had a baby. When we had our first baby, who's 4 now.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
But that was one of those like, oh no, this I gotta do something about this. Like,
Yeah.
I gotta really start taking this seriously, you know.
Yeah.
So this is the whole story of me quitting my job is insane and really complicated. And I'll try to summarize it as best I can. But basically, what happened was my son was 6 months old, and my wife was at her parents' house in Utah County. It was about maybe 40 minutes away.
Okay.
And she was like visiting her brother because he was about to leave on a mission. I was just mentioning I was a missionary for my church as well. He was about to leave, and so she's like visiting him one last time before he leaves. So she's down there with my son, and I'm like, I had to work, so I couldn't be down there. And she just like bends over funny, and she herniates a disc in her back.
Oh damn.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so if you don't know about this, like what this does is basically the disc between your spinal like bones, it bulges out and it pushes on your nerves. So it like is like intense pain. It's not really damage. It's not causing damage per se.
Yeah.
But it's like it's really, really painful. Like to the point where she's like passing out and like it's just awful.
Oh damn.
So she's down there and I'm up here in like 40 minutes away. So I'm like, oh man. So I rush down there and I'm like trying to make sure she's okay. So I'm like, oh, I need to go get some stuff because she's in the hospital down there. So I'm like, I need to go home and grab some stuff and come back. So I drive home, and on my way back home, I get in a car accident and total our car.
Damn.
What?
Day. This is like a few hours after this happened.
What? That's crazy.
So yeah, I'm like, this is the worst. Like this is and I should mention, so I'm working for it's actually Walmart. It ended up being like Walmart customer service.
Oh, okay.
Their online stuff.
Yeah.
I was kind of helping with like when there was errors with stuff on their site and stuff. I would kind of help them resolve those. So it was kind of customer servicey kind of office jobs, I think. But the important thing to know is the date of this happened, December 29th. So it's December 29th. I got in a car accident. I was miraculously completely unharmed. It was a horrible car accident, completely totaled my car.
Damn. Hey, thank God.
So I managed to have a buddy of mine like swing by. Dallin actually swung by and brought me back up to Utah County. But I realized, so we went to the doctor and everything. The doctor basically underlining all of this. The doctor said, "You're going to need surgery on your spine." To my wife. And
wow.
No. Our insurance told her that they wouldn't cover it.
Damn.
What?
They said it was going to be like $12,000 out of pocket. And
What?
we had to prepay.
What? That's crazy. That's crazy.
So I'm sitting here freaking out. Like, what do I do?
Yeah.
And so I realized, oh no, I have to quit my job today. Because if I quit my job today, then the insurance won't carry over to because what happens when you quit, it carries to the end of the month.
Oh yeah.
If I don't quit today, then like we have to wait until the 1st at least, and then she can get surgery we can go buy insurance somewhere else, and it'll get covered because it's not Walmart.
Yeah, that's true.
And then she can get surgery or whatever. So basically, that's what I did. I went into work and I just quit, and I was like, bye.
Dang, man.
I have no real safety net. And then again, I'm so sorry this thing's over.
That was a crazy story though, for sure. I never your wife, car accident, next thing you know, you're like, work. I was like, yeah.
That's a crazy ass day, man.
I know. And so between that, my wife's back and like me quitting my job, that was a span of 3 years. So it was like I had three jobs, a car accident, two spine surgeries. I didn't even mention that she had to get another surgery.
Oh damn.
Oh wow.
And then my job firing me was all. So 7 things in 3 years.
Damn, man.
It doesn't seem like that big of a deal now, but like looking
Yeah.
back, I'm like, oh man, how did I even do that? How did I live through that? You know?
You're like, those are some feats I never thought I'd be able to do by myself. It was like that. It's crazy. Wow, man.
But no.
That's a crazy story, man. Yeah, I don't know. It's quite a challenging way to get to where you wanted to be then, huh?
Well, but like I said, I think the reason it worked out is because I kind of knew the whole time that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be in charge of my own schedule and like doing my own thing. And so it was just when I had an opportunity, it was like, all right, here we go, let's do it. And I just made it work, you know.
You just manifested, and that's what you wanted to do.
Manifested. Yeah, you're right.
Heck yeah. So when you were talking about those YouTubers that you were helping out, like me and you, we've met through our Utah YouTube group that we're in.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I mean, we've kind of like chopped it up through there, messaged each other back and forth. So these YouTubers that you're talking about, are they part of that group?
Yeah, not so much anymore because they moved out of state, so they haven't done a lot of stuff in that group.
Oh, okay.
They're called The Beach House. If you want to check them out, they're like a really big, like a family channel. So they do like that kind of vlog type of videos for kids and stuff like that.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
And they have like different kinds of channels and stuff, but that's like their main thing is like doing like videos with kids and stuff. So yeah, not really my thing, not really like my type of content, but you know, it's someone likes it and someone watches it.
Oh yeah, there's how many 7 billion people in this world?
Yeah, there's
Yeah, that's actually one thing I always tell people if they're like gonna start a podcast or like a YouTube channel. I'm like, dude, no matter how weird your idea is, like I guarantee if like 0.01% of people would find it interesting, then that's an audience. Like you have enough people to, not just an audience, like you have a thriving like full-time job kind of audience, you know. It's
like I mean I've been on YouTube for 5 years now. We've done the podcast for I think this is our second year, maybe second or third year doing the podcast that we started up. And I mean, at first,
during COVID, everyone did one during COVID. I feel like that was what made me get a job. Everyone's like, oh, you better start a podcast, and then I had a job from it. So there you go.
Right? Yeah, we were like, man, I kind of, because I mean, since I was younger, you know, I was like, I want to start I want to be like in a radio show or something like that, you know. And I was like, and like now when you have like that, people are actually able to put on their own stuff out to like Spotify.
That's crazy to
Apple
me.
Podcast. It's crazy. It's crazy what you can do now. It's so.
Well, I talk to people all the time. Like you can, like the official NBA podcast is right here, and in the same app right below it, you can have like my podcast. Like that is just wild to me that we can do that. That's so cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. Like just telling him, I'm like, dude, it's so cool to like open Spotify and like our podcast is right there. It's like people can literally just check it out, listen to it, watch us, you know, all kinds of stuff. I'm like,
I will say though, it's a gift and a curse though. Like one thing that it's a good thing. I think it's like a content renaissance, but it's also like whenever you lower the bar for like being able to make stuff or like do stuff like that, you get flooded with a lot of garbage. Too. So like there's this like baseline of like I'd say probably the bottom 60% of podcasts are probably just not even like, you know what I mean? Like quality wise, they're probably not even like worth and listening to, even because some like people that have no experience talking and like whatever, like that. I just feel like there's a lot more garbage, but with that comes a lot more like stuff that is really cool, but maybe wouldn't have existed in like where they had to be like in a studio or a corporate kind of environment or something like that. So
no, I get you.
Yeah, it's a cool thing we have nowadays. So
definitely, yeah.
So, okay, I have another question for you. So, let's say somebody was trying to do the thing that you did, trying to start their online business, maybe even try to edit videos for other YouTube channels or podcasts. What are some tips you think you could give people on how to do that?
For sure, man. I totally have like a handful just off the top of my head. So first of all, if you're not familiar with like the software and stuff like that, like to edit and to for video or audio, The first thing is like there's a lot of free ones out there that are like half decent. Like I've Shotcut is one that I've heard of. There's tons. If you're on a Mac, you have like iMovie and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like step one is like if you're not familiar with the software, play around with the free stuff. Get like a YouTube video from someone else and like steal it and like practice just editing. Like see how would you cut from this place to this place. Like one of the reasons I started a YouTube channel was I was like, oh, I'll have a place to practice editing. Like I'll have a consistent like, you know, and now I do it for a living. So like I think there's a lot of like potential for that's something that I would say too. If you want to learn how to edit a podcast, the best way to do it is start a podcast because you'll have something to edit. Or even like collaborate with someone else. So if you don't have an idea, your friends do, maybe offer to like do some editing or
Yeah.
Like that's what we're doing right now.
yeah, see, exactly. And so I feel like you can kind of like pitch in and like kind of learn some stuff just for free because someone else is getting something out of it too. It's a win-win. I would say like, so that's step one is like kind of familiarize yourself with the technology and the software. It's a lot to get your head around, but it doesn't have to be super complicated. And that brings me to my next thing. Have you guys ever heard of Descript?
Sounds familiar. I think I might have heard it get thrown around somewhere there, but
It's in the podcast world a little bit. So if you do a podcast, I wouldn't be surprised if it's been brought up. But basically, it's this software that I came across at some point because I'm always looking for ways to like speed up my processes and whatever else. Now I'm using AI. Oh, that's a whole other topic we could get into. But but Descript is like, imagine if you just upload an audio file and it just turns it into a transcript, like an automatic transcript. But the really cool thing is you can actually edit the text and that will edit the audio.
oh, what?
Yeah, it's so awesome.
That's pretty interesting.
That's cool.
I'm a huge fanboy to the point where became an affiliate with them because I was so obsessed. It wasn't like the other way around. Like I'm not a fanboy because I'm an affiliate. I'm an affiliate because I'm a fanboy.
Yeah.
But basically, I was like there from like really early on, and they've gotten a lot better. But it's probably the easiest software I've ever seen for someone that's trying to learn. Like you can do audio and video, which is like video editing can get really complicated, but they kind of strip it to the bare bones and make it so you can focus on like getting the content out that you actually want to. It's really neat. I'll give like my referral code at the end of this. It's just codycrabb.com/descript. I'll reiterate that at the end or whatever, but I highly recommend anyone that's like wanting to learn to check it out because it's a really good first step into like the video editing world. Granted, it's got limitations. I would say it's probably better for like either like some simple stuff or maybe even just like a first pass. Like I'm trying to assemble stuff like Alejandro, you were mentioning that I did a true crime podcast.
Yeah.
We were dealing with like 60 hours of audio.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
It was crazy how much stuff there was. And I was able to actually like go in and like, I could find, he's like, oh, where's that part where what's her name talked about da 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 da. And I can just search it. I can search the text instead of like listening through for hours and hours and hours and hours.
Wow, that's helpful because I know sometimes when I'm editing, I have to do that too. I'm like, God, I don't remember.
And like getting little clips and stuff for social media or just anything like that. It's amazing what you're able to do. And so
Man, that's
check that
cool.
out for sure if you're able to. So that's step 2. And then I'd say step 3, if you're wanting to kind of do what I do, is start small, but do something. Like either start a podcast or start a YouTube channel or collaborate with someone else. Or if you can't do that, find someone else to edit for and don't charge them that much first. If you're learning, if you're trying to learn, be like, look, I'm just trying to figure this out. And charge them. People would be more willing to pay you, I think, than do it for free. I don't know really why that is, but maybe it's like you're more legit or something if you pay someone. But it's easier than you would think. I mean, everybody knows someone that has a podcast now, you know, and so if you're wanting to kind of get clients, the best way is kind of meet other people that do this. Like the reason I went to Podcast Movement is because I thought there's tons of people there that all have a podcast. They all have money to spend on their podcast because they're going to this convention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You what you want to be is the only one in the room. So I was the I was the editor the whole time I was there. People be like, "Oh, you're an editor? This guy was just telling me he needs an editor." Like the whole time I was there, it was like 80-20 production people versus podcasters. So like it was really easy to make lots of contacts and stuff because people just, I was the minority there. But that's kind of my other advice. Like if you're looking for people to edit for or something like that, ask. First of all, a lot of people would appreciate some free help, especially if you know them. But also, like, don't be afraid to just pitch yourself. Hey, I'm a new podcast editor. I'm learning how to use this software. I'd love for you to give me a shot. Maybe like super cheap, like $20 an episode or something, and just see how it goes, and say it's a learning curve. I'll give you a discount. I'll give you a hugely discounted rate as long as you'll be willing to work with me and like give me feedback and stuff. Like it can work. And that's kind of how I started doing my stuff. It took a long time, but you don't need to take that long. Like I took like several years, but you could do this in like a few months and just kind of slowly get referrals from the people that you're talking to and meet some more podcasters and stuff. But
that's what's up.
It's and really, like, the problem is there's no real easy way to do it. Like there's no easy way to learn all this software. It's audio and video are extremely complicated.
Yeah.
And if you are like, there's a really like high level that you can do with something like Descript that's pretty easy to learn. But any more technical than that, it's going to take some dedication to actually get in the weeds and figure it out. So highly recommend Descript as a first step. But yeah, just don't be afraid to ask around and just try it out.
Man, Cody, I think I need to take a few classes with you, bro. I'm like,
literally, I'm not even joking. Like anyone that is hearing this and is like, "Oh, I need some tips" or something like that. Like I'm not going to charge you if you just want to reach out and get some, if you have some questions or something, send me an email or something. There's my website, codycrabb.com. Just get in touch and I'll give you a hand. I'm not going to charge you for that. It's cool.
So if you guys need any help on starting your own little business like that too,
yeah, I'll give you some pointers for sure.
I'm for sure gonna hit up Cody after this. So if you guys don't take advantage, I will, man. Because I mean, he knows his stuff. So
for real,
as you guys can tell,
you're too kind.
But dude, that's awesome, man. Those are some really good tips. I like that. I'm gonna really consider those and put those in
your brain.
In my brain, and I am definitely going to talk more with Cody about this.
The elbows, and the knees.
I don't do editing at all.
Yeah. But
I'm just a pretty face.
I'm just a pretty face in the podcast. I just smile and wave, boys, smile and wave. But yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. So what do you think you would be doing if, let's say, you weren't doing
like the
podcasting, editing, video production?
Do you mean like in an ideal world, or like if I failed miserably? Because those are two very different answers, I think.
I feel like
well, and there's also different levels to this too, because when I was in school, my answer would have been, I want to be a film composer. I want to write music for like movies and stuff. Like that's what I wanted to do. That was my or video games and stuff like that. That's what I really wanted to do.
So you finished school, right? You finished college then?
No, I dropped out.
Oh,
I dropped out. Yeah.
What school were you going to?
My wife was. Oh, sorry, I'm talking over you. What'd you say?
Oh, so what school did you go to?
Snow College.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So and they have a really weirdly good music program. I don't know if you've ever heard. It's like has like ties with like Juilliard and like really good music schools and stuff. So
wow.
Randomly in the middle of nowhere in southern Utah, it's like, hey, I was this really good music school. Like, I don't know.
That's so random. It's random.
It really like when I heard that, I was like, am I thinking of the right place? Like this is Snow College. It's like literally 2 hours from any big city. Like seriously.
That's crazy.
And that's where I met my wife too. So
hey,
what?
Even if it was just for that, it was worth it. So like by that metric, like if you'd asked me back then, if you told me what I'm doing now, I would have been like, oh, I failed, because I was like, I wanted to be a film composer. Yeah. So like, you know what I mean? So now, and I've always said this too. My ideal job is not, it's not like a what I'm doing, it's how I'm doing it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like if I had my own business being like, I don't know, like a personal assistant, but I was still able to like choose my hours and like do things how I do them now.
Yeah.
I think I'd be pretty much just as happy. I'm probably more happy just because I really like working on audio stuff because I'm a nerd. But I think, you know what I mean? So I think like it's the how I do it. It's the freedom and the ability to pick and choose what I work on and stuff like that has been really that's my real dream. And that way I can my eventual goal is to work like 30 hours a week, maybe like 3 days a week, and then just spend time with my family. That's what I really want.
Yeah, well, that's the most wholesome answer that I've ever heard, to be honest, bro. Because I mean, I feel like most of the time when we ask questions like this, it's like we get people who are just like, oh, well, I'd probably be working a 9-to-5 job, hating my life, doing this, and that. But I like that you actually look at it as more of a positive way, as long as you're doing your working the way that you want to spend more time with your family and be with them.
Yeah.
I think that's super awesome, bro.
Well, I won't lie. I mean, there's a lot of times where I'm working like a 14-hour day to meet a deadline where I'm like, maybe I should just go get a customer service,
Yeah.
That sounds great. Like it's like a Saturday at like 6 a.m. and I'm like, maybe this whole freelance thing is a little much. But no, it's things like my son has a doctor's appointment and I can just go bring him to a doctor's appointment, or like he has a school thing during the day and I can just go over there. And it's like, it's so cool that I can just like, and I'm the first one in my family that's ever done something like this. I think my whole family's kind of like side-eyeing me when I was doing this, like, are you sure this is gonna work? Like,
oh dang! So they were kind of like a little iffy about it.
Not completely, but also like I think there's not used to the idea that this is a thing people do. Like it's really common to be self-employed, but like I think that they're all like, my brother's like a really highly paid like computer programmer, and my brother-in-law, who's like the breadwinner of my sister's family, is like a really highly paid guy at doTERRA, like some executive. Like not an executive, but like adjacent to it, like he's like high up there. And so like compared to that, it's like, and this guy is gonna edit podcasts on the internet. It's like it just doesn't seem like a real job, And so I think eventually, but I think it took some time, but I think eventually like they were kind of like, okay, yeah, this is actually working, is working out. So
yeah, and I think like people like nowadays they don't really maybe they just don't grasp the concept that now you can pretty much turn anything into a job now. Like, and it's crazy, especially with the internet, because the internet's a whole new world. It's like a whole different world.
There's a market and an audience for pretty much anything. And the other thing too, the funny thing is that exact concept is exactly why I can do what I'm doing, because those people that benefit from that are the people that I work with. You know what I'm saying? Like the people that go, I'm going to start an Instagram account where I do something weird, and I'm like, I'll edit your videos. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Because it's all just audio and video. Like if you have audio and video, if you need audio and video, like, or rather, if you're doing something on the internet, you need audio and video. And so like everyone's my customer. So it's pretty cool.
Heck yeah, that's what's up, man. Now that you were talking about your family and like how they were kind of like a little weirded out about your whole online job, were there any moments where you felt like they didn't support you or anything like that? Like where you just didn't feel support from your friends or family or anything like that?
It was way more like, I mean, they were like all in, like, yeah, go for it, dude. But they were kind of like, let's see if this works. You know what I mean? It wasn't ever like blatant, like not supporting me. They were more just kind of like, all right, well, if that's what you want to do, we'll see. It's like when someone says they want to be like a professional, like, I don't know, magician. You know what I'm saying? It's like follow your dream, but I don't know how you're gonna do that.
Like, I mean, sure, I guess,
Okay.
Hey, man. Yeah, because I mean,
although I will say my wife was like, I've never seen anybody more supportive than that. She's like, through all of her stuff that she's dealing with and everything, she's like, if I'm working late nights, if I'm working long hours, she's like, I'm not even exaggerating when I say I don't think she's complained a single time.
what? That's awesome, man.
She is amazing. Yeah, for
Married the right one.
Yeah, man, that's how you know. That's how you know she's the one, man.
I'd be divorced right now if I
Right,
didn't,
yeah.
'cause it's a lot to put someone through, let alone
It
some
is, it
surgeries
is.
and stuff. So it's
That's awesome, man. That she supports you through all that, and like,
yeah, it's the best. Love it. There's a reason I want to be with them because she's awesome.
yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. That's
I'm like, yeah, I just want to hang out with my family because they're cool.